Welcome back to Ni no Kuni, and now we're doing part 47. So we're back
back
to
to
Al-Mamoon.
the correct part this time.
Don't worry, this time I'm sure. Anyway, all right.
Hop.
So now that we've got what?
Hop, hop,
Oh.
hop,
Well, okay.
hop.
Hibbity Hill babe.
That movie sucked so much balls.
Oh my god, I
Anyway.
forgot about that movie.
Wait, what movie?
Hop.
I never saw that.
We'll see it when we get to commentating on
I
it.
wonder if Laurie's ever been in a good movie.
The first Stuart Little, I guess.
I suppose.
Anyway,
Wait.
go ahead.
What are we talking
Oliver,
about?
There is something I need to tell you.
What is it, Horace?
Joe was dying.
I am father.
I'm pregnant.
What?
I must tell you about.
Uh-huh.
Before you attempt to save Cassiopeia, you deserve to know the truth.
Time for lore building.
I know. You're not my father.
It may take some time, but I hope you can spare the time to listen to what I have to say.
An actual
Go
side
on,
quest.
listen to what Horace has to say. Thank you, Oliver. Our story begins here long ago. The kingdom of Nazca once flourished.
Mm-hmm.
Find mighty magic for advanced technology.
Mighty Magisword!
So it was the universe of Final Fantasy VI.
A preposterous realm where poverty and pestilence were all but unknown, and its people enjoyed a life of stuff. But man was never one to count his blessings, and greed soon reared its ugly head.
This all happened because of a greedy
And then Kafka
human.
attacked.
This all happened because of a greedy human being.
Friends turned upon one another, families were torn apart, and each citizen strove to better his own lot and be better than his neighbor.
Sounds like a recipe for a right old mess, that.
And that was only the Sonic fans. And indeed it was. It led to a series of conflicts that would span centuries.
Oh no, the Harry Potter and Zelda fans.
But the course of history did stuff.
Wow, one wizard made that big of a difference. Was that wizard's name Rebecca Sugar?
Damn it, Portuguese overlord, slow down!
I know,
Indeed,
sorry.
the wizard wielded not one but two wands. His mastery of magic was unparalleled, and he soon turned the tides of the war. Through his power, the bitter conflict that many thought would never end was brought to a conclusion in the space of mere days.
I originally
Gee, I wonder who
paced
that
this out for
wizard
myself,
was.
dudes. So sorry about that.
Well, the fact of the matter, page is like, oh, apparently
Crikey. Sounds like somebody went on your side in a fight.
it's ironic, Paige, because even past you is apparently too quick for current you at times.
Yeah.
He was indeed very. He was lauded as a hero by all the peoples of the world, and his reward was the crown of Nazca.
Gee,
got to a
I
point,
wonder
Jova. I'm
who
getting
that
so-
wizard was.
It got to a point, Jova, where I'm getting so. My younger self is now giving me shit.
Well, don't worry. We just have to wait for Squirm Generations when we team up with our past selves, and then you can chew them out for it.
Very same. I saw that future into the world was a king hid one of his wands in a distant land of Autumnia.
One thing's that's for sure, our younger selves definitely had higher voices back then, some of which were a bit,
Trouble. My current self is always giving me trouble.
Which brings me to my latest puzzle. It has been some time since I last posed you a question, has it not?
But your current self knows enough about Ace Attorney so that you can do a good Maya Fey cosplay.
This lore reminds me of a puzzle.
My question is this. What was the name of the wand that the Wizard King sealed away? I believe you know it well.
Very, very
Speak to me again while I have your answer. Oh god, that reminds me.
Huh.
When I was at London Comic Con, I kept...
Was there a Laden cosplay?
When I met Shiori at times, I kept calling her Shiori, even though in real life I used to call her by her real name.
Yeah.
Well, admittedly, it's a force of habit. Besides, I'm sure by the time when we're actually able to meet together in hotels when we're giving convention Q&As, we'll have plenty of time to call people by their actual names.
Hey, maybe we could play the Monopoly Steven Universe board game.
Yes, and we will live stream it.
Yeah, I'll bring it with me.
Good idea.
I'm still very immature, so Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, well, sure, we actually have the means to do that as a live play, since I tested out OBS, and I can indeed record both the screen of Cards Against Humanity Online. So,
Let's
yes.
include the Undertale pack.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
the
in that
next-
case, audience,
Anyway,
look forward
as
to
Pedro
that.
mentioned, Horace now will go in different parts of the world, and we now have to get back to him, basically,
Right.
and let us tell the rest of the tale.
Hey,
On the final night
Pedro.
of Con, me and the friends I went with actually played that, and we didn't put a point system on it. We just played it until we ran out of cards. We were there for 3 hours.
Oh boy. Say, Pedro.
Yes.
The irony. We're meeting a ghost in a graveyard.
This valley changed so much. No matter what is done. And let me continue my tale, which
Wait,
I had to make
so
it
this
come
valley-
thousands of miles for.
Wait, are you saying that this valley used to be more lively?
The wizard kings gets entered the throne and won great renown as a just ruler, treating all his subjects equal. Eyes.
Well, what else would they be treated like? Zebras?
They in turn repaid him by rallying around their new monarch, and together they rebuilt the ruined realm more swiftly than any had thought possible.
How many times must this world die only to be reborn over and over?
And this
It's
is
the
just
eternal
another
cycle of
question.
civilizations, Pedro. Even Dark Souls taught us that.
I know.
Indeed, the wizard king truly was a man like no other. It was then that all the kingdom all but rebuilt, as he chose 3 servants from among his subjects.
How ironic is it, though, that everyone outside the kingdom remembers the Wizard King, but no one ever remembers his kingdom, Nazca?
A swashbuckling sea captain to represent the race of Ben, a great wolf to represent the animals, and a serpent lord to do the other people.
Don't those sound familiar, guys?
Yep.
Each was wholly devoted to his master, and did all that the wizard king asked. But of the 3, the serpent lord was the wisest and most committed to his master's cause.
And
Why
yet
did
that
not
Serpent
consider
Lord
equal
went
hero?
on to be
He was
evil.
known as the king of cobras, and what a mind he had.
Do me a favor, Dwips.
My guess, Jove, is
Yeah?
that he was corrupted by Shadar.
Yeah?
Hold on, too. Do me a favor, Dwips. For the sake of the atmosphere in this particular place, speak these lines in an ominous voice. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll try my best.
don't worry. I'll tell you what the reference is. Oh, go ahead.
I am sure listening to me will do.
Oh, well, it's done now.
Oops.
Basically, this whole scenario, it felt like I was listening to a Souls character.
Oh, who's
So,
gonna do Dark Souls?
For a second there, I thought you're gonna.
Sorry,
the
Joe,
answer to
what
the riddle
was
was
your
gonna be.
question?
Who's gonna handle the Dark Souls for the channel?
I would like to do the first one in a live stream because that game needs to be done in a live stream instead of just being commented on.
Really?
Yeah.
I like to be
I
in
think-
on those commentaries.
The thing about the Souls games is that
Oh, let me guess, because medieval.
commentating
thing-
on pre-recorded footage, it's fine, I guess, but it's so much better when it's actually done live because this is the kind of game you want to experience live, not pre-recorded.
That makes me
Basically,
wonder if
Jova,
I should do-
one-
Oh, go on.
If Pedro doesn't teach me, I'll ask myself. But basically, I'll find a way to live stream from my PS3 and find a way.
Oh, it's very easy to, trust me.
You know, that
Anyway.
makes me wonder if maybe I should do my Ace Attorney playthroughs live.
No need.
No, Jova.
So
Thanks.
then, literally, if ever we wanted a good stopping point, boop, we could save there.
Well,
Yeah, it's a bit too late for that, Joel.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I could do it for Apollo. Just stick with the traditional.
I'll do Bloodborne and Neo at some point.
Wait, hold on. I thought I had Bloodborne.
Oh, you want to do Bloodborne yourself?
I
Sure.
thought I did. I mean, great.
I'll do Neo then.
Can I still do Horizon Zero Dawn?
I thought
That's
Tio had
related,
Horizon.
but
Yeah,
Sure.
that's a completely unrelated.
Why they're all
game.
PS3 exclusives?
But
No.
PS3?
PS4,
Objection!
sorry.
PS4. Phoenix, calm the hell down.
Hey, look.
Wait,
I've
Francisca.
been... Look. Hey, look, Miss Francisca, a.k.a. Shiroi. I've been on PS3 and PS4 games before, and I can tell you that they are 2 completely different things. One's a semi-piece of crap that became better in its later years. It became better in its later years, but it started off as a bit of an overpriced piece of crap. And the other is something that's actually been handled well throughout the entirety of its age. No offense to the PS3, but God, was that start clumsy.
Minus a
No.
couple of mod
feel
files.
free.
I
Joel.
understand,
I mean,
yeah,
everything about those first 2 years was. Ugh.
Yeah, I understand. Although I have no regrets over my purchase of my PS3. It's
I
still
thought-
Oh
serving,
no.
it's still serving to me with very fidelity since September 2010 and has never died.
Well, that's a thing.
Well,
then.
you got one
I'm
of the better models that you know is.
I got my PS3 like a year after it came out in Europe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
2007?
That you have to remember. You bought it in 2010. That was around the time, because the PS3 only started to be worth a shit in 2008 with Metal Gear Solid 4 and Little Big Planet.
You know, it's kind of ironic, really. I was kind of sad because up until that time, me and my family had pretty much been a PlayStation family until the PS3 because of its overprice.
Anyway, there you go.
Great peoples were driven from the kingdom, how they became evil.
Of course.
Below the king, at the head of the Naxxing government, adopt the council to the Council of 12, a group of lords known as the Zodiacs. They were responsible for the day-to-day running of the kingdom and were supposed to be the risers.
You know, it's kind
They
of...
had red eyes, but we can't be judgmental.
Look, guys, we can't judge everyone by how they look, to be
Constellation
fair.
the council, who feared his great power and the lords he commanded amongst the keepers.
You know, that reminds me of one line I do like from the Hoodwink movie, where Red Riding Hood talks about how she beat up the wolf just because he was creepy, and then the frog literally tells her, well, no, ma'am, we don't arrest people just because they're creepy. Frank,
soon-
you know that creepy guy we got hooked up? Yeah, let him out. I do
It
like
is,
it.
so the Arcs killed the king. That's basically it.
What?
So there you go,
Oh, my.
there's the responsible.
But the Wizard King eliminated, the council had complete control of the kingdom. The king's infant heir, Queen Cassiopeia, became no more than a puppet.
Makes you wonder why they
Gee, who
didn't...
would have guessed that these clearly evil, red-eyed people would turn out to backstab us in the back and kill our king? Who would have
Pedro, what have we said about judging people just because they look creepy and evil?
No, Jova. The correct answer is you cannot judge him. Just let him set in and give him a chance.
Sure, why not?
Apep.
Anyway,
Indeed,
yeah,
it was
Apep.
he who reduces once great city to the ruins you see before you now.
And
So
yet,
yeah,
somehow the
much
Wizard
like
King trusted
Cassiopeia,
him.
Apep also lost faith in humanity. Go ahead.
Go figure.
That's bad luck, but you got to feel sorry for him a minute, paying for him for murdering your mate.
Perhaps, but I will find a way. Pep possessed great wisdom. No one could have predicted that he would suffer such a spectacular fall from grace.
A
Speaking
downfall?
of predictions, yes, open the book.
You mean the Wizard's Companion?
No, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. What do you think I mean?
Okay, Harry Potter and the
I do.
Deathly Hallows. Which page?
As you may or may not know, its authors were able to see into the future. Turn to the final page.
Alright
A
then.
prophecy is written there. A prophecy that will become of a certain individual. That person's name too is hidden there.
Let's see, the
All's
final
well.
page.
What kind of prophecy is that?
The final page. Dearest regards from J.K. Rowling. My fellow readers, it has been a great journey for us all. This is the
Yes.
book you were asking me to read from, right?
Yes, thank you for giving me all your money.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
P.S. Sorry, I turned the sequel to this into a fanfic.
We'll get to that when we commented on The Cursed Child.
Was it? I haven't read that book yet, but is it fair to say
Anyway.
that that's the worst thing Rowling's
There you
done
go,
in the
that's the
series?
prophecy.
She tried to do an adult book series.
There you go.
Went
Here's the
terribly.
prophecy.
Out of
Out of
darkness comes
darkness comes light.
Zeus.
Keep this book ever at your side, wizard, and one day you'll be called a sage. Permit us to leave you with a poem, a prophecy. Heed it, and repeat not the mistakes of the past. High above the clouds, the child of white light casts the world once more into darkest night. The path unto the dawn was never fair. It is fraught with suffering and despair. Well knoweth she of both their power, entombed there in her ivory tower. Though full many have sought to breach her keep, its walls are too high, its mysteries too deep. Hope springeth yet amidst the flowers. When you find them, you will find her bower. Each time you fear you have lost your way, hark unto the child, mark what she would say. To own self be true, all rests upon you. Where the hell is my checkbook? I need to sue.
Roberta Williams would be proud.
Yeah, let's check carefully to see the name Horace spoke of.
Ooh, pretty.
And then the book author was sued, and
That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
So what we're gonna do for Cursed Child is just gonna read the
We'll
script.
see it leaves.
I'm sure they'll. I'm sure I don't know. We'll listen to the audiobook or something. I don't know.
Nah, I think listening to audio stuff will go for us. That's it.
Have we even tried that before? I
Oh,
don't
Well,
think we
the
have.
Well, there were the Captain Scarlet audio dramas. We could test it
So
on
have you guessed what the word is? What the name is?
that. Arg.
No.
Cassio.
Yeah, obviously Cassiopeia herself. That's what the poet speaks of.
Casio, the keyboard Joe Hisashi composes his stuff on. That is correct. Perhaps one day the people of this world will see that the White Witch had nothing but the best of intentions.
How many pick rights do I get?
None.
40, I guess.
But first, you must make amends for what she did. Despair is no excuse. Just like death is for Captain Scarlet.
Yeah.
Java?
I do.
I guess you're right.
I remember when she was a kind little girl who loved flowers above all else.
Did you also like chocolate?
Did
But
you
that's
just
a
say
story for
chocolate?
another time. If you're interested, I plan to visit a cave that less past.
Are we also gonna get to go to a ghost ship too?
I wish to see the old Cassiopeia once more.
The reason I'm showing, by the way, this side quest before the finale is because it makes it
helps.
makes one of the it helps one particular thing that Cassiopeia says in the end, in terms regarding flowers.
Not to mention that, but as is customary with side quests, it's often better to actually do side quests along the way in a playthrough, as opposed to just doing them all after a playthrough, so that you can still end on a good finale.
Yeah,
Great
when I
job.
record
amazing.
Gravity Rush, I'll do that as well.
I gotta say,
Side
Pedro,
quest
that was
on the
amazing.
boss.
That was an amazing jump cut.
I know, thank you.
Flowers always
like-
hold a special significance for the people of the Kingdom of Nask.
There you go.
They were seen as sacred symbols of peace and hope.
Which will explain something in the finale.
Queen Cassiopeia loved nothing in the world more than flowers, and her every free movement was spent tending to her garden. Her
God
castle
damn
was
it!
always bursting with colour,
Why do the Japanese love flowers so much?
with beautiful, bright flowers of every imaginable hue.
There's a musical
Ah.
where every character is named after a flower, and I think there's a manga too.
Cassiopeia
Also,
grew to be a
there's a-
splendid, spirited young woman, everything a father could have wished for, and
In
all that
ancient
I
times, in multiple civilizations, Pedro flowers were used and are still used today to express different types of languages.
Yeah.
True that.
I did. I knew her from she was one mere babe, you know.
So yeah,
Wow.
turns out he was our instructor.
So
Of
is
sorts.
green hair just a thing of the
highlights.
Nazcan civilization?
This talk of flowers and gardens, it reminds me, you ever one made from an old stick, do you not?
Flowers and Gardens. This reminds me of that 2003 game, Dark Chronicle. Have you heard of it, Oliver?
Yes, I have. But I hear that Dark Chronicle 2 is even better. I mean, Dark Cloud
What?
2!
Well, they're the same game, Oliver.
Oh, right, I get those mixed up a lot. But I am still waiting for this Dark Cloud 3. That sounds like it could be interesting.
You see, a long time ago, Oliver, Sony of America thought that Dark Chronicle would sell better in America if it changed its name to Dark Cloud 2.
Wait,
it?
wasn't it the other way around?
No. Level 5 specifically called it Dark Chronicle, and it also got that name in Europe as well. But Sony of America thought, you know what, this will sell better if we name it Dark Cloud 2.
So that's why people are asking for Dark Cloud 3, even though when you think about it...
Well, the thing is, Jova, the sad part is that Dark Cloud 1 is the highest-selling Japan studio game. I know,
Wait,
it's kind of hard to believe.
Studio Ghibli game.
No, Japan Studio.
Don't you mean
Japan
level...
Studio? I said Japan Studio. Do you even know what Japan Studio is?
I know what that is, but I could have sworn I heard you say Studio Ghibli game.
Well, I didn't.
Well, no,
like,
never
'cause
recording anyway, go on.
even at Shadow of the Colossus isn't all that much.
Okay.
Bring house.
You know what's also weird? How much you want to bet that if Dark Chronicle hadn't been called Dark Cloud 2, people wouldn't really be asking for Dark Cloud 3?
Yeah, that's the main reason, actually. Most of the people saying that are Americans, because it was in America that it sold the most.
The old desire was that the people of Nazgul should never lose.
So if anything, we have them to blame for people constantly asking for Dark Cloud 3. See, that's the thing when you have a trilogy. People are going to ask for that third game because it makes sense to make it a trilogy. If it had just been presented as, its own game, which I'm guessing it was more of a spiritual successor to Dark Cloud 1
it was more of a spiritual successor. It has nothing to do with the plot of the first one. And it does share similar, same mechanics, but the way it executes them is completely different.
So, yeah. So, of course...
I don't know if you know it, Joe. It's more similar to what Legaia 2, it's similar.
Don't worry,
Dweeb.
I'll recap it after.
Okay.
Go on, Dupes.
No, go keep going, too. Keep going.
No, I will say just saying to Java, imagine, I don't know if you know those games, but it's similar to what Legaia 2 is to the first Legend of Legaia. It's a completely different game, but has some similarities to the first one.
Oh, so it's like So it's like Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics 2 to the first game.
Basically what happened was he talked about how he was the one in charge of taking care and instructing Cassiopeia, since the father obviously was too busy being king.
And now the final part of the
I
tale.
have been waiting for you, Oliver. Shall we continue our tale?
It really is a shame that we never got to have it on the ghost ship.
Long before I ever became known as the Sage of Ages, I fought in the Wizard Wars alongside my teacher, the King. I often think of those days. How long has it been since I was last here, I wonder?
Blimey, Horace. You're saying you've been to this gaff before, like?
Guys, I'm paused at 21:39.
Click. Indeed, I have. Sorry, telling all this stuff makes my voice go raspy. I occupied the 10th seat on the council, taking the zodiacal title of Gallus.
There you go, he was the original Gallus.
Gallus? But isn't that, So it turns out, guys, not all those red-eye people were evil. He was one of them.
Yeah, he was one of them, but the others were like, what's this? Brothers, there's someone nice among us.
Kill it.
That was later, of course.
There's a decent human being among us.
How dare he?
After my seat had become vacant.
This sounds like what would happen on the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
We were getting ahead of ourselves. When I sat on the council, to my undying shame, I failed to notice the plotting of the council.
Didn't the red eyes tip you off, dude?
Well, remember, Pedro, he was one of the red eyes himself.
I who thought myself so wise, disposed that there was a king and his free servants. They then turned their attention to any who might yet stand in their way, and they considered me as an obstacle to their complete domination of the kingdom.
So there you go. They're the ones who killed him.
Sorry. So in the great danger I fled dusk. I attempted to bide my time, to rally forces low to the ground, to return my revenge on the council.
Oh, never mind then.
And then he got a cold and died.
I think Drew does it.
Actually, similar. It reminds me of that Fire Emblem character who literally dies in a storm in between titles.
But the choice I made was wrong. I should have remained on the Queen's side.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a wandering spirit who regrets one of his final decisions. But you couldn't, could you? Those rotters in the council were gunning for you, man.
It's a risk I should have taken. By leaving, I sealed the fate of the entire kingdom.
It's a shame because he was the most likely, opportune, probable king, considering his skills. Go ahead.
Allow me to explain. In addition to my duties as a Zodiac, I have been charged of educating Queen Cassiopeia. I took it upon myself to create a compendium of spells and arcane knowledge which I presented to the young queen.
Please tell me you didn't present her with mana. A compendium? You mean like a spell book? You mean...
Dun, dun, dun.
I rather think you know what I mean, but allow me to ask you the question for old time's sake. What was the name of that book?
Well, that's easy.
W-I-Z. The Wiz.
Wizards Reunited.
Wizards of Waverly Place. One of the few
Oh,
good
God.
Disney Channel sitcom shows. Wait, hold on. Wizards of Waverly Place was actually good.
We'll
I've
agree to
always had a
disagree.
I always had a soft spot for Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Me too, yeah. Yeah, that show was also good too. It actually had good child actors to boot off of it. Honestly, the bad one was...
Like most other child actors, the Sprouse twins at least didn't devolve into coke addicts.
I know, right? Whereas with Hannah Montana, well, Wrecking Ball.
How one of them actually shared a little parody of the intro.
You can't be flipping serious. How could the Wizards campaign have led to Nazca's destruction? What the heck are you on about, man?
Drippy, have you been paying attention?
In my desire to create a tomb fit for a queen, I included all magic, including the forbidden spell.
Oh,
Because that's a
you're
good
the one we
idea.
have to thank for this.
Hashtag
But I
thanks,
failed to
Horace.
include detailed notes on the rights and wrongs.
No, gee, maybe that would have been nice to include now, wouldn't it?
And I fled the kingdom before I could teach Queen Cassiopeia the perils of the forbidden spell.
Okay,
You realize that this
seriously.
is all your fault.
Why would you include a forbidden spell? It's forbidden for a reason.
I was so brooding on what manner of revenge I was out on the council that I failed in my duty of care to the Queen. So basically, the entire plot started because he was an idiot.
Basically.
That's how she arrived at the fateful decision. That is why she did not know the true power of mana.
Well, it didn't help that the power of mana apparently was something to purify according to the instructions.
It is my fault that Nazca fell, and that Queen Cassiopeia was transformed into the White Witch.
Maybe you should come with us when we face her then. I'm sure she'd love to meet you in that regard.
Maybe we should execute you then.
He's already dead. But I'm sure she could maybe
that's-
bring
yeah.
him...
You are already dead.
How could I ever make amends for what I did? It was unforgivable. Reduced to a spirit, doomed to roam the world for all eternity. Could I ever save that girl from her fate? That is why I must humbly ask you to act my part. Save the Queen. You're the only one that can, Holler.
Let me guess, I'm the chosen one, just like the prophecy you wrote that caused her to gun for my mother. Oh my god, so he's responsible for all of his mother dying with the prophecy, he's responsible...
Not really. The prophecy doesn't specify that the new pure-hearted one will have his mom killed. That was
Well,
just,
remember though. His mother was killed as a way to stop the prophecy from coming true. Remember?
Oh, you mean because? Oh, yeah, because. I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
Well, but to be fair, Jova, let's not forget that if Oliver wasn't disobeying his mom, it wouldn't have happened.
And now for my final contribution to your cause. Here, have some money.
10,000 guilders.
And a mirror of truth.
We
which
did
I
it!
thought-
We solved the
I thought
final
it's,
riddle with Horace!
I think
Queen
it's
Cassiopeia waits within.
chemical ingredients.
I wish you
for
luck, Oliver,
recipes.
the pure-hearted one.
You
The
know,
savior of our world.
I gotta say, I feel sorry for anyone who's completely skipped Horace in the first playthrough, because then that would mean that they'd have to do an entire game's worth of side quests just to get to this point.
Actually, no, Jova. You can do this side quest in the post-game if you want.
Well, I know that. What I'm saying is, they'd have to do, the whole game's worth of all those side quests just to catch up to this point, is what I mean.
Not really, Jova. With a travel spell, you can do this very quickly.
Well, I
Anyway.
know, but it does kind of become busy work if you don't just do it with the flow. You get what I mean?
All right, everybody. Before we finally face the White Witch, sorry, Horace, you're gonna have to wait a bit more. We're going
We've
to
got
do two
some
things.
gambling to do.
Not just that, we also have some Tales of Wonder that we haven't read yet. So tune in for those. See you then.
Yeah.
See it.
See ya.